Again, my name is Gabe Zollner. Got a real interesting email, bit of information from WND. You might want to go Google this. U.S. deporting Saudi person of interest. Now, as you may recall, if you were watching the events that were unfolding in Boston, there was a foreign student, and he was identified as someone of interest. He was actually injured from the explosion, and the police had identified him, again, as someone of interest. They didn't accuse him of being the culprit, but he was just someone of interest. And then we saw the police or the FBI going to his apartment, and they left with boxes and bags of whatever they had in those boxes and bags. And then about a day later, we're told that this individual is in fact no longer a suspect. And then we find out that Secretary of State, John Kerry, well, he was supposed to participate in a photo op, and that's after a 10-day trip abroad, visiting other Muslim countries, I imagine. And when he returned, again, he was scheduled to participate in a photo op, and then he was inadvertently called into a meeting with one of the officials from Saudi Arabia, and the photo op was canceled, and there was no explanation given. Now, what's interesting as well, Reuters news agency, they also reported that President Obama met with the Saudi Foreign Minister, Prince Saeed Al Faisal, on Wednesday. And they also noted that the meeting was not on Obama's public schedule. You sort of have to, wonder what's going on. Now, on the Hannity show, he had a guest on Hannity, and what this individual said is that that's pretty much the way that things happen. You don't arrest Saudis, you don't arrest them. That's not how the game's played. Now, what's interesting as well is the gentleman's name in question is Abdul, that's A-B-D-U-L, Rahman, R-A-H-M-A-N, Ali, A-L-I, and then A-I-H-A-R-B-I. Now, his second name is of interest, the R-A-H-M-A-N, and if you remember, or if you know who the blind sheikh is, his name is Omar Abdul Rahman, R-A-H-M-A-N, spelled the exact same way as Abdul's second name is. So I think there's some kind of association with the names being somewhat the same. And according to this article that's posted on WND, the Al-Qaeda is very much supported by the Ali al-Harabi families. So, who knows? Am I suggesting that this Abdul Rahman al-Hari is in fact the bomber? I have no idea. But I just think that it's sort of strange that he's being sent out of the country on Tuesday. He's being expelled, I guess. And both Obama and the Secretary of State met with officials. Obama met with one of the princes from Saudi Arabia. And neither one of those meetings were scheduled. So they were like rushed. I guess Obama makes himself readily available for any Saudi, doesn't he? You remember when he was over visiting? Remember how he bowed to the king of Saudi Arabia? I don't think he did that intentionally. I think that was a reflex action based on the way he revered the king of Saudi Arabia. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I think he's probably the first president ever that bowed to anyone. Anyway, go look it up for yourself. I think you'll find it to be of interest. I know I did. And what I think will happen with this Boston scenario, the same thing that happened with Benghazi, the same thing that happened with Fast and Furious, it all gets buried. And nobody is ever held accountable. I hope I'm wrong, but so far it sure looks that way. I told you what I think. What do you think?